Jennifer, I want to start with you, first of all. You believe that this sugar tax would work. It's worked in other countries, so why not here?
Exactly. We know that the obesity levels are rising, we know that type 2 diabetes levels are rising, and we know that sugar intake contributes to that. So we need to make some changes, and so we want to see a sugar tax, amongst other range of initiatives as well, being put into action by our government. OK, and would you be suggesting, like Jamie is suggesting, that the money that comes from this sugar tax, all that big bulk of money that they have, goes back into schools, goes back into educating children about sugar and healthy eating? Yes, I mean, education is important, but that isn't something that really is making a difference to us now. So, really, we want the money to go back into the NHS for prevention programmes for obesity and type 2 diabetes, because it's under immense strain at the moment from all the costs from these diseases. OK. Andrew, you say this is patronising. This is not going to work.
Well, it doesn't work, actually. There's evidence of that. In Denmark, the most recent country to have a sugar... they had a fat tax, which is the same principle. Yeah. They abandoned it after 15 months because it wasn't working. What happened was people on lower incomes went to cheaper supermarkets and bought own brand labels. Other people just carried on. The only beneficiary from the fat tax was the government, which got more money, and that's what would happen here. I think it's patronising because why should a family that like to reward their children with a fizzy drink once or twice a week, maybe, that's moderate, that's reasonable, unless they're suggesting banning fizzy drinks altogether, why should they be penalised and forced to pay more because some people are excessive? The way to deal with this is education, and the way to deal with this is to put on the cans of fizzy drinks, there's 10 teaspoonfuls of sugar in here. That would stop mums and dads buying it, but because don't hit them in the pocket.
OK. Could you not already do this with cigarettes? I mean, could you not argue that it works successfully with cigarettes?
But cigarettes, I say the main reason cigarette consumption has come down, Eamonn, is because we banned it from restaurants and pubs, and people know it's a killer. People smoke 20 cigarettes a day. People don't drink 20 cans of fizzy drinks a day.
Says who?
Well, I mean, you're saying...
I think for me as a dentist, I think both are right. I'm firmly behind having the sugar tax. I think that, as you said, on its own, it's not enough. It needs to be combined with lots of other things. I think it sends a clear message. There was a message from the previous report where, before David Cameron even read it, he'd said no to the sugar tax. That sends a clear message. So with this, saying yes to sugar tax lets us know that the government thinks it's important. For me, the health service spends a ridiculous amount of money, millions, on general anaesthetics for children having teeth out. And it's just down to sugar. It's completely preventable. It would save the health service money. And I think we need to combine. It's not just about the parents, it's about the manufacturers, it's about the government, it's about everybody getting involved, because we have a huge problem.
If you go into my local hospital, in the waiting room area, there's a cafe and there are fizzy drinks being sold. That's within the NHS. That's where it's going wrong. It's education. That's what we should do.
I take all that on board, but why don't we just hit the big companies that do this? Why don't we just get really sort of, quite tough with the manufacturers? Because everybody shies off this business. Why don't you say you can only have a certain limit of sugar in food? No one does that. No one takes on big business. It's our responsibility.
Yeah. Well, it's National Sugar Awareness Week this week, and that's what we're calling for, is for sugar reduction across foods and drinks as well. So if it's done gradually, then actually people don't notice the taste difference so much. That's another approach, alongside other things like reducing promotions and marketing and advertising as well.
Talking about advertising, they've also said there's a ban on unhealthy food advertising before 9 p.m. Watershed and during TV programmes enjoyed by family. Buy one, get one free. An outright ban on supermarkets placing sweets and other less healthy foods at the ends of aisles and checkouts. Will this make a difference? Will this help?
Yeah, well, the evidence shows that it is increasing purchasing and therefore consumption at the moment. So to reduce it, I think if we reduce promotions, about 40% of the food that we buy is on promotion, and the majority of those foods are actually high in sugar. OK,
well, we went out and about and we asked shoppers what they thought about this, and parents, would it make any difference? Here's what they had to say.
I think it's a good thing, but I also think that it's our responsibility as parents to limit their intake of sugar as well.
I think it's a bad thing that they're going to sort of punish everyone, because not only children like sugary things, some adults have the choice to eat sugary things on a daily basis.
I think it's a good way of controlling the amount of sugar people have. When it's cheaper, people tend to have loads of it.
I think the parents should decide how much sugar the kids have, and it shouldn't be too much.
Parents should decide, but I think it's a good idea, because if you've got no control of what your children are actually eating outside of the house,
To be honest, I think it's up to us. We bring them into the world, so it's up to us what we put into their bodies.
We were talking earlier, Jamie, Oliver's suggestion of putting the picture of the teaspoons on how many sugar it's got on the side of the can. Most of us agree that that would be a good idea. To see how powerful that image is, Eamonn, we've got a can of Coke. I want you to put...
Full fat, right?
Full
We're talking
fat.
about full
so
fat.
Put a teaspoon in at a time, and I'll tell you to keep going. This
in just one can?
One can. Eamonn.
OK.
Keep going. One.
Not more than that?
Yes.
Seriously?
Keep two. Keep going.
In one can?
Yes.
Not a six-pack?
No. Keep going.
Nice.
Three.
Stop there.
Three. No, keep going.
Are you sure you got your figures right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's three. This is number 4.
Keep going.
Well, that would make you throw up, really.
Is anyone surprised on this sofa about this?
I am. You couldn't drink tea with that amount of sugar in it.
Yeah.
OK, keep
5,
going. 5.
6.
Keep going.
7.
Keep going.
8.
And that's it. 8.1, actually, so you could put a little bit in. But that is what, in one can, you are giving your child. Now, if you think about it, I think if you have a donut, it's got less sugar in it.
Yeah.
You are drinking liquefied cream cakes, essentially.